Wars. A vital part of EarthMC. If you've played on the server for a long time, there's no avoiding them. Once a war ends, another starts. Once one warmongering nation collapses, another begins. It's a sad truth for everyone who doesn't want to be a part of wars. They will always be present, and you should be prepared. So today I'm going to be going in depth on everything related to wars. How they start, why they start, and who starts them. How to avoid them, and how to win them. Before this video starts, make sure you do subscribe. I'm going to be very honest here. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before this summer. It seems difficult, but if I try my hardest, I think I can do it. So I really appreciate it if you considered subscribing to help me get there. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the video. Also, there's a chest buried where I'm recording right now that has a bunch of diamonds in it, so if you are on EarthMC, try to find it, and also turn notifications on so that you find the one that I put in the next video. There's one main reason for almost every war. Power. But there are a few different ways this takes form, the first being claim war. This is the undeniably common reason for most wars. One nation will make a claim map of territory they have claimed as their own, and then another nation will make a town inside of their so-called territory. The nation will then get mad at the other nation and declare war. This seems like a logical reason, but when you look different, it's completely irrational. I was in a war once with the Canadian Empire where they declared war on me for making a town in their territory. They started this war even though I was never actually informed of their claim map. This is how a lot of these wars begin. Someone unknowingly creates a town in another nation's territory, and then they declare war. Sometimes nations also claim completely unreasonable amount of land. You know who you are. And then smaller nations around there are confined to only a small portion of land. The nation is then forced to put a town in their land because they have no other choice, and then they get war declared on them. I personally think that territory maps are sensible as long as you make it small. But when you get caught up in attempting to get as much land and power as possible, you forget. Another type of power-oriented war is conquering. Bolder and stronger nations will declare war on small nations to either destroy them or annex them. It's a scary strategy, but it does work, and it seems to be the best way to gain power in regions and continents. The last type of power-oriented war is the threatening nation wars. If a nation or union has gotten too big and is threatening another large nation, it could result in a war. This is what happened in the NAU Rio Grande War. The NAU grew to a threatening size, and to try and protect their power, Rio Grande declared war and managed to collapse the NAU. Other nations include destroying nations just because of grudges, joke wars, and wars for videos. That's right, Britain, I'm coming for you. Now, like a lot of people, you may not want to be a part of a war. You just want to build your cities and play on EarthMC like a normal Joe. Well, here are the ways you can try to avoid duking it out with Avalon on St. Patrick's Day. You could, of course, try joining the enemy. Look, I never said these ways would be noble. If you join the enemy, at least you won't die. If you really just want to relax and all you care about is that, this should work. Another more noble way to avoid war would be starting a defensive alliance, reaching out to a bunch of nations and having them form something like the NA Pact, a defensive alliance including Cascadia, Illinois, and other nations around America. It's hard for nation leaders to ignore something like this because it's so good for them politically. They can use it in their campaign saying that they made peace with other nations. As a result, everyone on the continent will be too scared to attack nations in the Union. Though if and when it inevitably becomes corrupt, it gets harder to decide if it's worth everything just for a bit of peace. It all depends on how much you want it. You could also try kicking foreigners from your Discord and cutting your nation off from the world. It's harder to expand, but it's relaxing. If you're a member of a nation that's at war, you are the opponent's prime target. You need to do everything you can to stay safe. The best way is by claiming a bunch of land for your town so you can stay inside claims more often. Never go outside claims if it isn't necessary. This is the best way to keep yourself safe from pesky enemies. The nation's best defense could be going into lockdown to keep your nation safe. Block off your nation spawn so nobody can teleport there and kill your citizens. If the need arises, you can always move underground until the war is over. If you only want to do a little bit to stop your citizens from dying, you should at least unally your enemies so they can't teleport to your nation. A war generally starts right after a nation declares war. After it begins, the first battle routinely takes place. Most of the time, this is the biggest battle of the war, with everyone excited and ready to fight. This will result in the most casualties of the war, and it will set the tone for who has the upper hand. It is reasonably vital that you win this battle. After this is done, it will turn into a reoccurring killing in the wild. This is one of the most dangerous phases, and quite a lot of people die. These deaths are usually caused by one or two main people who try to murder as many people as possible. Over the next week or two, a few battles may happen, but they are less likely. After that, nations will start trying to come up with more strategic ways to kill their enemies. In one of my many wars, our nations claimed plots at our capital so that they could blow them up. After the war has cooled down, the nations will stay at a standstill for around a month, until places like EMCL will declare the war dead. Once that has happened, both will come to an agreement and the war will end. Just a tip, try to negotiate one-on-one with the most reasonable member of leadership in your opponent nation. That way you can get the best deal possible for your nation. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to comment down below any other video ideas you have, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you really enjoyed it. I have a lot more EarthMC videos planned, as well as other Minecraft and GeoGuessr videos planned. So if you enjoyed that, make sure to turn notifications on for the channel so you don't miss it. Thank you all very much for watching. Gosh golly, I hope you enjoyed it. Toothbrush.